to Your Wedding Series. In today's episode, we are definitely talking about your wedding and planning it from a very young age. Now, we started at 14, but we are fast forwarding. We already are there. We're fast forwarding to the point of engagement. So that proposal, right? And so we are fast forwarding, and people do get proposed to at different times in their life. It's not all at the same time, so it's just going to depend. So this is preparing you before the proposal. That's why we're doing this wedding series a little different than most people do and talk about their wedding series. They usually start with, I'm engaged, and then we get to hear about all the slew of wedding events that they're doing in order to tell their wedding story, love story, right? Their love story through their journey leading up to their wedding day. And so those events usually include obviously the proposal, the engagement photo shoot, the engagement party. Then you have you have so many things, guys, and you don't have to have all of these events, but you have the bridal shower, wedding shower, bachelorette party, bachelor party, hen do party. You also have the welcome party if you have people who don't live in the same place where you're throwing the wedding, or like if you were out of town and everybody is going to be there for the first time, then like it's a welcome party for everybody. So yeah, and then you lead on into, like we said, the wedding shower, bridal shower, rehearsal dinner, rehearsal, and then you go right into the get ready with me the morning of, which is an event in itself. It's a to-do, you guys, and it's usually the behind the scenes of the bride and then also the perspective of the groom getting ready as well. And then we have obviously the wedding day ceremony and the reception. So like I said, you don't have to do all of these events. And there are some people who even add on to these events by adding things like an after party or the next day where they do like a brunch, which is really, really, really cool. So we are talking today about your wedding series. And why am I here? Why am I here as your content creator? Well, as your content creator, I provide affordable, not the expensive stuff. I provide affordable wedding videography for not just your wedding day, but all of the events leading up to your wedding, starting with that proposal, whether it be surprise or planned. Okay. I am there taking all the photos for you so that you can stay hands-free. You and your guests can stay hands-free and put those cell phones down. I will have the cell phone, so that way you'll have content in like photos and videos that's easy to upload to social media like right away. Right away, you'll have it within 1 to 2 days. You'll have some raw footage in like a day. You'll have like some edited stuff within 2 days, which is really, really cool. Like I said, it's easy to upload and share. And then that way you don't have to miss out on like, well, nobody took a bunch of photos and videos of me. And so what am I going to do now? What am I going to do now? You just have to wait for the expensive videographer and expensive photographer to get you back some pictures. And that's going to take months. Okay. So that's why I am here today to just share some of my advice. I have been working at weddings and planning weddings and helping with weddings and events for many, 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 many years. And I also have been married for 6 years. Yay! So that's why I am here to help out with giving some advice for your wedding day. It looks like we are back. Yay! All right, so lights, camera, action. Let's start the show. Here's a little advice to help your story unfold. Have a little proper chat about this, okay? In today's episode, your wedding series, we are in episode 9 today. And in episode 9, we are talking about, okay, what do you really think of my girlfriend? Or what do you really think of my boyfriend? Now remember, this is preparing for marriage before he proposes. So before you even get engaged, that's what we're talking about today. So this topic is a tiny bit spicy. We've had some very spicy ones leading up to this one, but I would say this one is still in that spice realm, because we are talking about, what do you really think about my girlfriend, or what do you really think about my boyfriend? Okay, so you now have had a chance to be focused on dating for marriage, right? You've had a chance to spend a lot of time together, get to know each other. But because you've been going on group dates, you've been in group settings, you've been around people who know you both pretty well. You've been around your family members on both sides. You've also been around, if you attend church, you've been around church members who know the both of you and your ministries that you're a part of in your church group. And you also have been around your friends, even like your closest friends by this point of you guys dating. Okay, remember, we're talking about dating for marriage. Okay, dating for marriage. So you may even have had a few parties at your work, at your job, where you've brought each other along, right? So basically you've been getting to know each other in those group settings. You've been, hanging out with lots and lots and lots and lots of people. Now, this is the time, the phase in your relationship where it's time to ask your friends, what do they really think about your girlfriend? What do they really think about your boyfriend? Keep in mind, this is your circle, okay? You, and at this point, you guys are not betrothed, you're not engaged just yet. So this is your circle. So whoever you talk to, you have to remember, are you allowing them into your circle, or are you just kind of hearing them out on what they think? My advice is just hear them out on what they think. You're not allowing them into that very, very, very sensitive circle, because the more people that you let in, the more advice that you're getting from people. It's just, it becomes it becomes too much. And so you don't want to have too many people's opinions about that person, but you do want to talk to some people that you do trust. Okay, you do trust their opinion. All of us have that close friend, that best friend that we consider, okay, they wouldn't steer me wrong. Okay, hopefully you have your mentor that we've been talking about along the way, that you've been talking to a mentor, and so that you could be candid with them and say, okay, you know me very well. Maybe you've even known this person your whole life. Maybe it's like an auntie that you trust. Maybe it's an uncle that you trust. And so you're just kind of like, what do you really think about him or her? This is this is not the most, how can I say? This isn't the most easy thing to want to hear, because you're not going to want to hear it. You're not going to want to hear everything that has to say, unless it's just so positive, right? Unless it's just so positive that you're just like, this is great. I'm so glad that I found out that this is how they felt. But it's not always going to be like the most positive, uplifting response, right? So brace yourself. Brace yourself, because it could turn out not how you thought the conversation was going to go. So, like I said, brace yourself that it could turn out bad. Now, trust me, do they care about me? Do I trust them? Do I care about them? You know? So it's important that you take the time and you just talk to a few people that, like I said, that you feel like, okay, they got my back. They got my back. They are gonna tell me the truth, and hopefully I can handle it. Now, I'm gonna share something that happened to me. You guys, it didn't go the way I thought it was gonna go. All right. So I had a really, really close friend that I worked with. So I was a coworker. I was in the coworker department, right? Her and I had also become pretty good friends, at least I thought. You know what I mean? Like that we could trust each other. We had talked a lot about relationships, like a lot. We had talked a lot about marriage. We talked a lot about weddings, coworker. And we had talked about weddings. We talked about marriage. Like, I really thought that, like, we were close. And so when the opportunity arose for me to talk to her after she actually had already gotten engaged. They were going to be married, I don't know, I guess like 6 months out or something. I can't remember because this has been years ago now, but I think they were going to get married in like 6 months out more. And so I had heard and I had seen, because someone put it in my face, that her fiance was on a dating app, the one that's close to the name Mender. Okay. So I told her, I saw your fiance on this app, and like, I kind of like left it to her to respond after that. I didn't tell her what to do. I just was simply sharing the information, just letting her know, hey, I saw your fiance on a dating app. This is your fiance. Like, you are planning to marry this person, okay? Now, I never met the guy. She never brought him like to any of our like work parties or anything like that. And I never got to spend any time with them together. I just saw like photos and that's it. And she talked about him a lot. But let me tell you, it did not end well. Her response was, oh, yeah, I already knew that. Him and my brother have a joke going right now. So they're both are on it. And it's just a joke. It's not real. Like, it's just something that they're doing, like an experiment. And I was like, okay. Okay. That's an interesting experiment to me, but I'm not her. Now, what would I have done? What would I have done if before I'm married, during the engagement, I literally have proof, okay, that this has happened to me? Would I still get married to this person? Absolutely not. No way. There will not be a wedding with you. I would not be getting married to them. That's just me. I think that this is already a red flag for you, that this person isn't going to be faithful and true. That's just how I feel. She still married this person. They have 2 children now. So that's their life. But I did not get invited to the wedding because of this. Because I was honest and I was real, and that's okay. Like, I love weddings. I love weddings so much, and I love love. But if that means that I no longer am a part of your friendship, that like I was real with you beforehand, I was an honest friend, because who knows who else saw but didn't say anything. Who knows? Maybe other people did see, and that happens. People do see stuff, and then like they're like, no, I'm not saying anything because then she's gonna blame me, and like we're not going to be friends anymore. So they're worried about like their friendship, whereas like I'm not. If we are a real friend, you would still be in my life to this day if we were really friends. So obviously I was wrong in thinking that we were actually friends. I guess we were just coworkers and not even the strong coworker friendship that I thought we had. It wasn't true. It wasn't true. So that was very, very difficult, but to bring it up. I was fine like after I said what I needed to say, and I didn't even wait. As soon as I found out, I told her what I found out. Okay, I told her. I did not keep it to myself. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so sad to me, like her response, and it was like, nope, I'm not at any of the baby showers. I'm not at any of the baby's birthday parties. I'm not at anything she ever put on for herself, which most adults, once they have children, they don't do anything for themselves anymore. I really think that that's sad. It's usually just celebrate the children, but like we don't ever get to celebrate our friends anymore. So sad. Because remember we talk about like that individuality and like keeping your identity and stuff like that as well, even though like you're married and you have children and stuff like that. So like that's why I think that that's sad. But anyways, I couldn't believe it. So have you ever told your friend, okay, this is what I really feel about your boyfriend. This is how I really feel about your girlfriend. Like before they got engaged? Or have you been on the side where you were the one that was getting engaged and somebody told you how they really felt about your boyfriend or about your girlfriend? I am just curious if anybody else has like gone through this, because I was really, really shocked, and I thought that I was like being a good friend. And to this day, I still think I was being a good friend. I still think that I am a good friend. Let me just like put that out there. I am a good friend. I do truly believe that like an honest friend is a good friend. I do. An honest friend is a good friend. And so, yeah, that it just really hurt my heart. It really hurt my heart. But I know that not all the advice that you get is going to be like good advice from family and friends about how they felt about that person. Maybe that person doesn't have a job, and so your parents are like, you know what? No, I don't want you to marry him. I don't want you to be engaged to him. Please just like break up with him. Or vice versa. She doesn't have a job, and your family is the kind of family that's like, no, everyone's got to work. And so since she doesn't have a job and she doesn't plan on working, she's out. Are you going to take that advice? Are you going to let that person into your circle? Because remember, that circle is between you two. You two are the one that's going to be getting married. You're not getting married to your family members, your aunts, your uncle, your mom, your dad. You're not getting married to your sister, brother. You're not getting married to your best friends. You're not getting married to your coworkers. So are you okay with getting that advice for them and like letting them into your actual circle? Okay. So it's something to think about. It's something to think about. I do think that you should hear people out though. I don't think that you should just completely tell people like, nah, like I don't need to hear anything you have to say. If it's not positive about him or her, I don't want to hear it, right? Sometimes like people are so positive and you're like, wow, I didn't even see that. Like sometimes people see qualities in another person that like you don't actually see. And so it could be a good thing that you're taking this time in this phase, this in-between phase of dating for marriage and getting engaged, that you are taking this phase like super seriously, and you're like, no, like I need to hear what other people are seeing, feeling, thinking about us, even as like a dynamic. Do they see the compatibility that I see, or am I just delusional? Or maybe I'm the one that's like, oh my gosh, like I just don't really see it, but yet your friends do. Maybe your friends are like, girl, no, like what are you doing? Give him a chance. Give him a chance, or vice versa for him. Give her a chance. Like she's amazing. She's going to be a wonderful mother. She is a strong, like human being. She's going to be a great helpmate. things like that. Like maybe, you know, the gentleman, you have to listen to your friends and being a little bit more open-minded of giving her a chance. I actually had a different scenario where I had a good friend who lived like states away from me at this point. We used to live in the same city, but now she's moved away, and she was dating someone, and like I got to meet him, and I was like, oh my gosh, like why don't you want to give him a chance? Like, are you crazy? And she had her reasons. She had her reasons, but I'm so glad that she listened to my advice. I'm so, so glad that she listened to me and she actually gave him a chance, because now they're married today. They have three beautiful children, and like she's very, very happy. She's very, very happy. And so had she not listened to that, you know, I'm a good friend. Her and I have traveled the world together. It's like, don't like don't sleep on it. Like, don't like pass this person up. Like, don't do that. You know, like a lot of people say, like, don't sleep on it, or like, don't, you know, don't let this person pass you up, because it's like, if you sleep on it, if you let them pass you up, you may not get them back. You know what I mean? They might move on to somebody else. I mean, I truly believe if you're meant to be together, like, you're going to be together. Let's just say that. But I do think, like, why wait? Like, why put it off just because, like, you're being silly, and then now you guys have to find a way to get back together, like, later. Which I do know another couple like that, too, who were, like, high school sweethearts. They ended up marrying separate people. And then literally in their early 60s, here they are, like, literally like 60 and 61 years old, and now they're getting back together after being high school sweethearts, after, you know, they've had divorce, they've had widowship, and it's like, okay, now they're getting together. It's like, man, y'all didn't even have to go through all that. Y'all could have gotten married a long time ago and had all those beautiful years together and raised children together and grandchildren together. And that's okay. At least they got together. At least they got together. But I wonder if they had people in their life during that dating for marriage phase. Did they have people in their life, and then and at their church too, because they both are churchgoers, that was like, hey, so and so, like, have you thought about marrying her? Hey, so and so, have you thought about him being like your future husband? Are you guys like gonna, you know, do this thing, stay together? And so I'm curious, like, if people had probably mentioned it to them and they just didn't listen. So yeah, be thinking about these things, guys. Like I said, they may see something that you don't, but it doesn't mean that you have to take all the advice that you receive. It doesn't mean that you have to receive it. It just means that this is the part of you guys' relationship where it's important that we start being super serious about this. From the beginning, we've been serious when we talk about our wedding series over here. I don't know what everybody else is doing when it comes to, you know, just dating out of order and all these things that's happening. You know, it's just all out of order. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. I know it was a more just kind of like casual talk, but we need those casual talks. We need them. Okay. So yeah, let me know what you thought. Let me know what you thought about this. I know that it was different. And have you had a situation like that where before you got engaged or somebody else got engaged, they were getting some advice, and maybe it was like some really good advice, and maybe it was not so good advice? I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye, guys.
Lights, camera, action, baby, strike a pose. Phones and cameras out, just watch it all unfold. We're the stars of the show, ain't no need for filters. Living life through the lens, capturing our breath. Put away your phones and cameras, let the good times roll. Our content creators got it all under control. From weddings to events, parties, travel and brands, we're living the paparazzi life. It's all in our hands. Lights, camera, action, we're ready to go. We're professionals, don't you already know? From TikTok to Instagram, we're taking the lead. Content creator, we're planting seed. Get ready for the social media explosion.